Okay, let's see what Taliesin needs
This
to
video is
say.
sponsored by Squarespace.
Hello Internet, Taliesin here, and today we are talking the World Soul Saga and the characters you know and love who, might not be seeing the end of the World Soul Saga. Oh, that's right team, as the remainder of the War Within stretches out before us and we get ready to go into part 2 of our multi-expansion arc. That's what Blizzard like us to call it, a multi-expansion arc, but it's a trilogy, isn't it? Yeah, it's a trilogy. It might be time to start thinking about which of Warcraft's most established characters are in very real danger of meeting their doom in the name of narrative stakes, especially as part 2 of a trilogy is the dark part, right? The part where the protagonists are most likely to lose, the part where the writers are most likely to want to make a statement.
So wait a second. So he thinks that if we losing, right? It means that we will lose somebody in this. I mean, Taliesin, what kind of mushrooms you was eating this morning? Because this is fucking bullshit. I mean, World of Warcraft needs to fix the problems inside of the game, not killing the main characters, right? Killing the character must be some point of replacement for this character, because without replacement, people will go mad really quickly. Really, it will be not fixing anything, and to assume that it will be useful for a story, no, it will not, because you can kill the characters, right? But in the moment when it's necessary, because right now game needs not killing the characters, it needs to make story more interesting and more probably mystery in some point, right? Because people are really love mysteries, and killing the character is not a mystery; it's a bullshit. And even now, to think that someone will be killed, maybe trapped. Okay, maybe trapped, right? Like it was in Shadowlands, but in Shadowlands also it was like little, in some point it was funny when the Enderin was trapped and nothing was happened with him. Nothing was happened with him. Yeah, it was. In some point, we didn't saw it, but later we saw it. Anyway, to think that someone will be killed, I think this is bullshit. And sometimes Taliesin is talking about a lot of bullshit. Sometimes I'm looking his streams. Sometimes they are really interesting when he is talking about some lore. But when he is talking with chat and making some crazy jokes, which is making people frustrated and making people think that he is piece of shit and asshole. Sometimes he's acting like asshole. I'm not saying that he is asshole, but sometimes he's acting like asshole. Maybe it is his style, but this statement that someone will be killed before nightmare, I mean expansion, right? It's in some point it's nightmare expansion. It's midnight. We're going not in the nightmare, we're going into the void. Anyway, I mean, I don't believe it. Because, like I said, right now the story and the game needs fixing, not rid of something what you already have, but something what you need to fix. Like for example, some mechanics. Like for example, to add some spice into the into the story, to give people some explanation. Who is Zelathat? What she really wants. What role is for these whispers and who is whispering, the role of the new race, like new people of the roots, right? The role uh, of the ethereals, right? The role of the new races, what we already meet. Their stories can be told and made bigger. What is going on with the legacy of uh, Gallywix, because he has legacy, and did he really was he did he really died? Because some people think that he is not, and I'm included because I thought that he will become the Natrizim, because like you can remember, there was a three brothers, three Natrizims in Warcraft 3, the yellow, the red one, and the green one. The green one was the fat dude with wings who was really disgusting, and the Gallywix was look like this dude. Really, he was like spit image, but little one without wings. Anyway, tell something about these stories, but killing some characters which was built like the foundation of the Warcraft is like bullshit. Really.
About just how dangerous this whole situation is, and the easiest way to do that is to kill off an important member of the team. Something WoW knows only too well. Would Legion have had anything like the same impact without Varian's dramatic and still incredibly traumatizing disintegration? No. Would it have hit anywhere near so hard without Vol'jin breaking his tooth? Well, okay, and since at this point the main cast of The War Within seems to be making it out surprisingly intact, sorry Renzik, you would have to imagine that the stage is well and truly set for there to be some big heroic sacrifices and tragic demises in the remaining two installments of the saga. So join us as we rate each main character's chances of seeing the end credits of Last Titan,
But
and
let's see what
ask
you
who is
want to say.
on the World Soul Saga kill list. Okay, go 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 go. Thrall. I mean,
Uh What? What the fuck are you talking about, man? I mean, are you serious? Are you fucking serious? Chris Madsen was just come back, right? And the Thrall is the Chris Madsen. How you even think that? Okay, let me explain. For example, just imagine the movie, Avengers movie, right? The first one. And you suddenly, on the second movie, you killing the character. Like, for example, the widow was died. The movie became... The people was so frustrated. And the movie became so suck when they killed her. For example, just imagine to kill the main character, the main actor also. It's like a replacement of the main character or main actor to the main character with someone else after first movie. This is this feeling of garbage in your mouth is not going out, and people don't like this shit. If you want to kill Thrall, the main character who was in every expansion almost, you need to have a really big balls to think that people will eat it and will be okay with that, because this is fucked up. No, it's impossible. I mean, Taliesin, if you think that the troll, one of the in the list of killing, man, you need to drink some black tea of your in your England in London and think about this twice, because without troll, the World of Warcraft will be really suck shit place. Mm. Because, for example, if to kill Troll or Jaina or Anduin right now, you think you thought what will gonna happen with World of Warcraft story in general? Brain, man, brains.
Would it really matter
Need
if
to use
Thrall
it
were to
sometimes.
die? Surely he'd come back 3 days later. If the franchise of Warcraft has a main character, then there's a pretty strong argument that character is Thrall. Goel. First conceived as the star of the never-released...
Wait, what did you say?
Warcraft has... Surely he'd come back 3 days later. If the franchise of Warcraft has a main character, then there's a pretty strong argument that character is Thrall.
Yeah, he's
Goel.
main character.
First conceived as the star of the never-released Warcraft Adventures point-and-click, and making his full debut as the founder of the shamanistic horde in Warcraft 3, Thrall has been the beating heart, conscience, and eyebrows on the red side of WoW lore for almost 25 years now. He's had hair, he's been bald, he's had hair again. His arc truly is epic, and yeah, okay, the whole green Jesus thing is a good meme, but that's not really fair.
Yeah, just after what you said, think twice before you think that they will kill him. Because, I mean, yeah, he's old and he was in the World of Warcraft really long time, but it doesn't mean that you need to kill him to make story be interesting.
Interesting. Moses saying, "Set my people free," and then leading them across the sea to a new homeland. Except for the massive hammer, so actually he's better than Moses. And anyway, forget Moses, because if Thrall is anything, he is Green Metzen. The link between Warcraft's main character and Blizzard's main character is impossible to ignore when you're talking about Thrall. Chris Metzen is largely credited with being the main pair of hands that shaped Warcraft as a franchise, and most of us think of Thrall as his in-game avatar.
So,
I think it's probably a bit...
So how you fucking suggesting that they will kill the Thrall then? If you know all of this shit.
Much to call him a self-insert character, just because Chris Metzen voices him and made him the strongest, most awesome orc in the whole wide world, who's also kind and good, and who shaved his head at the exact same time, and who got all into the idea of having a family at the same time, and needed to have a break from work and the spotlight at the same time. You write what you know, I get that, but it is that inescapable, unignorable, intrinsic mixing of Thrall and his creator that, for the purposes of this video, sets alarm bells ringing a little bit for me. Because on the face of it, Thrall's safety is ironclad, right? So here's the thing about the World Soul Saga, okay? And this is based on absolutely no evidence or insider knowledge. It's purely vibes, okay?
It's not purely vibes. It's your what you were smoking, man. What are you fucking smoking?
But there is a sense, for me, that Metzen wasn't really happy with how he left Blizzard the first time. It being due to...
Okay, yes, of course, he's not.
...burnout and general unhappiness, and that perhaps the main motivation for his return is... Okay, the fact that he loves and missed the work, for sure. The massive pile of money that he's probably getting, very likely. But would it also...
Very likely. I mean, oh, fuck. Of course he's getting a pile of money off it.
Makes sense that he wants to tie up some loose ends. That he sees...
Loose ends? I mean, no. I can't see it. I don't believe it.
the World Soul Saga and its presumably epic and universe-changing finale as a way of putting a bow on his time with the universe before handing it over properly and in
No
good
way.
shape to
No
whoever
way.
comes next. And if that were the case, would there be any more fitting or symbolic way of doing that than by also ending Thrall's influence on our
Influence, maybe, but killing him, I mean, even influence. How did he make any influence in last expansions? He didn't even influence anything.
Azeroth?
Let's think this clearly, right? Did he really influence in anything? I mean, seriously, in War Within, did he influence anything? No. We just have a big unknown which we're trying to discover and figure out what to do with it. Because we find out that there is a Zealotad, there is Ethereals who is different kinds, there is Undermined, there is Black Blood, there is a new races, there is a lot of stuff what is not controllable about Thrall. He's not in control of anything. And what kind of shit are you talking about, Taliesin? I mean, seriously, what control Thrall has in this position? There is any control of this position. Let's think about Anduin, right? We was fighting with Zalatath, yes, but do we truly fight with Zalatath? No. One moment when we was fighting with, not we even, the Illyria was fighting with Zalatath, even not fighting with her. She was make a trick with broken the Dark Heart, and after that Zalathar just escape with Dark Heart, right? And now we have just fixing the consequences after Zalathar doing. The same was with Queen Ansurek. She was created by Zalathar, and its consequence, and we've trying to fix the consequences of Zalathar doing. We are not in the fucking control of anything right now. We are basically don't have any control. Because Zalathar is the villain who has moving step forward, even 2 steps, 5 steps before we are. And we not really know a lot of stuff.
At the same time. Like Shakespeare saying goodbye to the stage in his final speech of his final play, The Tempest, I can imagine the ending of the World Soul Saga potentially being used as a swan song for both Chris Metzen and Thrall. An in-game death that would be impactful, emotional, and symbolic. Don't forget, the actual main antagonist of the...
People will not take it. People will not take the death of Thrall.
World Soul
I'm
Saga
pretty sure.
is Iridikron, an elemental infused...
Iridikron is not the thing of the fucking expansion. Maybe he's like a villain. He's main villain character. Or let's be honest, maybe he's not a villain. He's just a villain who was created and made like a villain. He was a good guy. Maybe he is a good guy, but he's trying to even like, for example, if to see the Iridikron like Sylvanas, right? Sylvanas was also not was known like a villain in some point, but she's not fucking villain. She was trying to protect us even, and Iridikron trying to warn us about Titans, who are assholes.
dragon, who is all in charge of putting those elements back in charge of Azeroth. Those same elements that Thrall has been struggling to re-establish a connection with since Legion. What an epic final face-off that could be. So I rate Thrall's chances of being on the kill list a very high 14 games out of Warcraft. Khadgar. Khadgar is one of the longest-serving characters in Warcraft.
Maybe.
First appearing in Warcraft
Maybe.
2, having a statue.
But killing the Khadgar after you just bring him back, it's
in Stormwind, and lately settling into a kindly old granddad role. Because, yeah, okay, he may be the victim of an aging curse that made him old when he was really young, but that was like almost 30 years ago now, so he actually is quite old now anyway. If we had made this video when the World Soul Saga was first announced, I would have put...
This is the first time when I see that the Taliesin is holding the cup, and in the cup is something. He has something in it, right? Like coffee or tea or something. But mostly he just have empty cup.
Khadgar top of the list of characters that I didn't think would make it out alive, because he is such an obvious dude to kill off. A legendary and much loved character whose influence on the actual story and events seems to be basically over. Voice actor who must be thinking about retirement at this point. His killing off seemed pretty likely, and so I wasn't especially surprised when the War Within opened with what appeared to be exactly that. Xal'atath cementing her place in big baddie history by blowing up Dalaran and murdering WoW's best granddad. How dare she? But now it's all got a little bit more complicated, because it turns out he wasn't really dead at all, and much was made of his return at the end of the first chapter of the expansion, to the extent that, honestly, it would seem kind of silly to kill him off now, wouldn't it? You can't keep on having big death moments and expect it to have the same kind of impact. It's the same reason they can't really kill Velen, because they already did. Ugh, alternative reality Velen. In Warlords of Draenor, the music was all emotional and everyone cried and stuff, and it's like, that's kind of it now, isn't it? You can't ever really...
And in some point I think that to kill in somebody right now in expansions, people are grow up already from it, this kind of stuff. Already people in some point already don't care if you kill somebody or not. But when you are talking about main characters, it will have a big impact. Like a huge impact. Like you need to prepare this really good and to have a really good explanation for this. A fucking really explanation and really good replacement for this character. Without it, it will be a nightmare.
Kill that character now, because you've already used the emotional kick of killing them once. It won't exist the second time, and that kind of defies the point of killing them at all, doesn't it? All this is to say, no. Khadgar seems pretty safe. Tony, you can put down the payment for that new holiday home. You've got a secure gig here, mate. Kill this chance, a measly 2 wisdom balls out of wheelchair. Alaria. Oh, this is such a hard
No
one to
way.
call. The seeds of Alaria.
No way. Kidding already. Okay, maybe. Okay, maybe. Wait a second. Maybe yes, because she can sacrifice herself. But imagine the expansion, the Midnight, the Void expansion, without the main character who is connected to the Void. Kind of shitty.
Alaria's importance were planted back in Legion, when she went from legendary missing character who had sacrificed herself to save the planet in the previous game to returned legendary character with a very relevant link to the Void, a hugely intriguing relationship with her light simp husband, and a son who had been waiting in the wings for his own huge storyline.
Maybe to kill the husband. Raleon, how his name is. But anyway, just killing husband maybe to make her closer to Void, to suffer or something like that can be true, but to killing her,
for over a decade. And now, with the War Within, it seems all that potential is finally ready to be realized. As Alleria was given a cool new purple look and promoted to the troubled elven ranger wielding dark powers, who is also called Windrunner role, recently vacated by her sister Sylvanas. We've seen her battling with the whispers of the void and her own single-mindedness over Xalatath, a battle she seems to have won for now. But there would appear to be plenty more story ahead for Alleria. The question is, will it be a story that climaxes in her death or not? We know that Midnight will feature a final battle of sorts with the Void, which most people assume will be along the same lines as Legion's final battle with the Fel. By the end of that expansion, the Fel was basically done. It still exists and demons still exist. It's just not a major force to be reckoned with or overly concerned about for the foreseeable future. And if Midnight is going to be the end of the Void as a big antagonistic force in WoW,
I'm not agree. Like, when it was, like a couple days ago, I was playing the retail, and there was like, which dungeon it was? Which dungeon? Or not? No, it was a delve. I was in a delve, in the main city, next to the main city. I was in a delve, and on the end of the delve there was the main boss with kobolds, in a kobolds place, and on the end there was like image, not even image, like the spirit, the big giant demon. Why there was a demon in the room with kobolds? Anyone? Just think about this. And he's saying that Legion is done. I think something will happen with Legion also.
WoW's immediate future, it does
Maybe we will find out that Legion is connected to the Void also.
kind of feel like Alleria.
Because the Net regimes also connected to everything. Maybe Net regimes is exist in every realm, like Light Net regime in Legion. Remember the big one, who is become our ally. Like Void Net regime, possible. Like Order Net regime, also possible because they are shapeshifters.
Either needs to be somehow cleansed of her connection to it, unlikely she'd ever want that to be honest, or more dramatically, could sacrifice herself to save people from it, or even the darkest option of all, that she could succumb to the Void, like in the current patch content Horrific Visions, and need to be taken out. The story has made a huge effort to inform us that she uses her son Arator as the anchor by which she resists the Void and retains her sanity, and there is much speculation that something happening to him could well be the catalyst that sees Alleria go full-on raid boss mode. And that's definitely very possible.
It's possible.
It's a tough one, and the picture...
Possible that she can become the Xalatath, yes, but to die, I'm not sure. Or create her like some kind of side boss.
will probably be a lot clearer as we get more information on the Midnight expansion, but from what I've seen in The War Within so far, Alleria definitely seems to be making progress and getting a handle on all that Void stuff, and that could totally be a narrative decoy to make it more surprising and tragic when she does fail. But I don't know, personally, I just get the feeling they're leading Alleria to a place of safety Void-wise. There is, of course, a fourth death scenario for Alleria, though, isn't there? That she could become the first victim of the crazed light zealot baddie arc of Taliesin, when the light is revealed to be the main big bad of the whole universe, and anyone who even slightly likes it is an obvious villain. And you're gonna hate me for this, but I think it's pretty clear that's just not the story they want to tell with Taliesin. That dude is good dad and good husband, personified. That's why he gets a pass for all the light torture he does. So I think he's safe. I think Arator is probably safe. I'm going to rate Illyria's chances of snuffing it a surprisingly safe. 3 Windrunners out of all the Windrunners. Xalatath. Okay, so Xali isn't a protagonist.
What? Death of Xalatath? I mean, it's possible. I will explain why it's possible. For example, it can happen if the Xalatath is the key, like she's the gate, like a harbinger. He can become, she can become a key for summon the world, a Void Lord, right? If her death will summon the Void Lord, it will be possible. But as we know, she is fucking insane strong and is really difficult to even imagine how to kill her. Not even think about how to track her down. And thinking that we can kill her is like some kind of, it's like killing Superman with kryptonite. We don't even know if kryptonite exists for Xaladath.
Yet. But she's also not a raid boss yet. I love Xali. I think she's one of the best baddies WoW has ever stumbled upon. She's the best built-up WoW baddie since Garrosh, and she's just very, very cool. But surely her fate is sealed, because she's a baddie. At some point, the fun will be over, and we will have to defeat her. Or will we? Look, I know it's silly. I know it's stupid, but I just can't shake a little tiny feeling I've had ever since we interviewed the wonderful, perfect Maria.
This jokes is really good when he's doing like that. It's really good. But when he's talking shit about something, it's bad.
Hamilton in the lead up to the War Within.
Is she a baddie?
Why, I mean, I know that.
Is she a baddie? Huh, interesting. Maybe she's also the victim, like it was like the Sylvanas.
That's just Maria doing her job and sowing intrigue. I know we're going to have to take on Xalatath at some point, and actually a big awesome battle with her true,
but
possibly
I'm not
extremely
sure.
tentacly form is actually something
And I can't believe that she is the victim, because she's doing stuff what is basically she loves to do and wants to do. She has passion to this. She just acting like she made for this. She's entity who likes doing stuff like this.
I would really want. I think that would be awesome. But what if we didn't do that? What if her plan actually isn't entirely what it seems? She certainly seems to love helping us out through Mythic Plus dungeons every season, after all.
Yeah, by the way, about that. When you finishing, or when every time the Xalatath affixes appear, she's talking to us like she wants us to take her power, to use the void for us. Why? She has a big plan for us, a big one. Like, we will use the void more and more and more, and suddenly we will appear, and she will appear and say, you was absorbed so much void shit, so you became servants of the void. So let me take you to the midnight. Ta-da! And your souls will be in a void form, and we will be voidy and stuff like that. You know.
And don't forget, we don't actually know what Xalatath is.
Mm.
We assume she's a being from the void.
Yes.
But what if she's an ethereal? What if she's something
She
else
is
entirely?
ethereal.
What if she plans on betraying
An ethereal.
her masters and
I think she is an ethereal, and she is oldest ethereal. Maybe she was like a princess or something like that, and became uh, and she found out that ethereals was doing something bad or good, and she decides to destroy the realm. I don't know, but she's definitely the ethereal.
Ridicron before they can betray her, just like she has done with literally every other master she's ever served as the Blade of the Black Empire. If she were to decide suddenly that helping us would be more beneficial to her own survival than fighting us, I have no doubt that she would be willing to swap sides in a heartbeat. And could we really turn down her help if the situation was all that bad? I know this is probably a pipe dream, born of my own personal love of my Shadow Priest Naifu. We can't even be sure she's gonna survive the war within, let alone the World Soul Saga. I would rate her chances of being on the kill list a mere certain 9 toes out of 10. But that still leaves one perfectly formed digit possibility, and I won't stop worshipping, hoping
He has even image of the feet of Selatat. Yeah, let's be honest. Some people have like a fetish for feet, and the jokes about fetish of feet is funny.
On that until I absolutely have to. Okay, we've been going pretty in-depth with some of these, but there are loads of characters in this game who could potentially be
No, killing Xanathas right now is a bad idea because she's so perfect villain.
on the block. So I think it's time for a quick fire round. Jaina, she is one of the
Fuck you. I mean, I was saying to kill the main pillars of the World of Warcraft is the fucking insane nightmare, because Thrall, Anduin, Illyria, for example, yeah, in some point right now, Jaina, they are the pillars of World of Warcraft. To kill one of them will be fucked up.
most adored main cast of Planeteers. She's a playable race leader. We've already fought her as a final boss once, and she was just fine. And honestly, she's probably not quite important enough in the story right
Bullshit.
now to
Yeah, okay, maybe she's not so important like others, also not so important in the story, but without them? You have so many, you even have stories and books about them, and you're saying that they are not important. What kind of bullshit is this?
be in danger of dying anytime soon, so Jaina should be very safe. But there's just one thought I can't shake. Actor Laura Bailey must be very expensive these days compared to when she first started voicing the character. If I was the kind of Microsoft accounts dude who didn't care
Oh my god, he's talking about hiring a really expensive actor? Fuck you, man. They was doing it all the time. And Microsoft has so much money, so you can't even imagine. So telling about money,
about video
and they will kill Jaina because they can't afford the actor who is voicing the character. Man, what the fuck?
games or artistic integrity, I would definitely be gently nudging Blizz into killing off this perfect being and saving a few quid that we could spend on developing more housing items to put
Okay. This is the bullshit what he likes to talk about.
on the shop. So actually, I'm gonna score her a precarious 6-plaited ponytails out of midriff. Verisa. It's a big battle with the Void. You definitely want to kill a Windrun.
Verisa. Why you even wait? What? Why are you even concerning about Verisa? She is not the part of the story at all, in general, even not even close. Why even think that she can be killed for growing the story further? I mean, she's even no. She's like side the character who is like even not a part of the story of anything. Yes, she's a windrunner, but to take her, no, it's taken. This idea is fucked up.
But Sylvanas is in the moor, and Ilaria still has more story you want to be getting on with. So how about Verisa?
Oh my
Added
god,
bonus, her death
man,
could
dude,
work as an emotional
seriously.
motivation for those.
Once she was appear in the Shadowlands, Verisa was appear in Ancient Lands in the story, but after that she was not even involved in the story at all.
Other two characters that everyone likes much more. Perfect! The only catch with this plan is that unfortunately, Blizz, you will have to actually feature Verisa in even like a tiny bit of story to make it work.
Yeah. Of course. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to say.
So actually, she's probably pretty safe. The entire Titan Pantheon. Can you imagine being...
That will... But how... I mean, to the entire pantheon will die and everyone will think, oh no, how we will live without titans, blah blah blah. What the fuck? I mean, we already know the titans is bad shit, assholes. Not maybe all of them, but most of them. And the order world trying to order the entire civilizations and world for their own minds and thinking that it will change something, their death or sacrifice will change anything. No.
A Titan right now, and looking forward to the new expansion of your favorite video game, World of Warcraft.com, and seeing that it's called The Last Titan must feel like getting married to Elon Musk. Pointless getting too comfy, you know, because it's almost certainly not going to last for long. The one saving grace is that one of you is the last Titan in question. So who's it going to be? Golganeth? Yeah, it's probably not going to be you, mate. I wouldn't bother making any Christmas plans, to be honest. Kazgaroth? I literally just had to look up your name, so I'm going to say the chance.
I think he's saying bullshit right now. The Last Titan. Probably the Last Titan is they call Azeroth like Titan. She's not a Titan, but if to think what she is in general, she is a Titan because all Titans came from the world souls, and I can I can think the story will goes like that. The Iridochrome will kill all the fucking Titans, or Titans will be fighting with Void, and they will be dead, and the Azeroth will become the Titan, uh, not just the Titan. She will become everything, like the Titan, the fell Titan. Basically she will become like the major power which consume all the powers, which contain all the powers, all the worlds, and she will be also the Titan. She will be another entity. She will be ethereal. Everything. She will contain all races and all powers of the universe, and that's why she will be lost, probably.
Chances are.
But she will be also the beginning of the new generation of Titans and new generation of entities which will come after her.
Slim. Amitus? Mate, you're not even in the game. You're a Hearthstone character. Seriously, I'd keep your head down on this one. Basically, the field of possible Titan survivors boils down to Agrimar, Ionar, Armenthul, and Sargeras as a wild card. Anyone else? Better start making their...
Or if to think about his logic, the Sargeras can be the last Titan. Because he is, in some point, he was touched by the Azeroth. In some point, he was influenced by her.
Goodbyes. Armenthul. Yeah, and you know, the thing about Armenthul is, even if he is the last Titan, it's probably not going to save him anyway. In the gradual sussification of Titans,
Armenthul is...
Shadowlands to lead them to their current...
Armenthul is a motherfucker. He is tricky asshole.
point of extreme sus, there is none more sus than Armen Thule. The only way he makes it to the end of the saga is if he's the final raid boss of it, in which case we're gonna kill him anyway, so this dude's as dead as the Disney live-action remake department. Sorry, Armen Thule fans,
I think, yeah.
of which I'm sure there are some. Queen Ashara. I know she's not technically a protagonist
Queen
in the world.
Ashara. We are talking about death, which will give us the push in the story, but he's talking about some characters who is not even evolve in the story anymore, or basically right now. About the Varisa, about Ashara, what the fuck, man.
World Soul Saga, or like at all, but I think most of us feel the chances of her making an appearance in Midnight's elf-centric
Appearance,
storyline
yes.
feels quite high. Personally,
Appearance, yes, but death of Ashara, no.
I hope she's just a full-on baddie. I love that for her, but she could see the error of her ways when she sees her people threatened with annihilation and join us in the good fight. Either way, it doesn't look great for her. A 7 tentacles out of octopus chance of getting deleted, I'd say. Illidan. I love Illidan
Huh.
as much as anyone, and we know he's coming back in the World Soul Saga at some point. Ever since the boffins at HQ,
Why to give Illidan come back and kill him in sort of way? I'm not sure.
Q finally decoded Chris.
I don't like this idea because Illidan also one of the main pillars of the World of Warcraft, because everyone knows that Illidan is alive, right? And when he was he just stayed in the Pantheon, everyone was chill after that. He's not dead. He just protecting. He's just fighting with Sargeras. Blah blah blah. Everyone was cool with that and is cool with that. But if they decide to kill him,
Smetson's very subtle hint.
I would even say you are not prepared for that moment. And leave it at that.
And he's one of those characters where, honestly, it's going to be a complete coin toss as to whether he'll survive in a blaze of glory or die in a blaze of glory. So I'm going to rate him a 50-50, 6 abs out of 12 pack. Yrel. Good shout. I know
what? He's totally smoking weed.
Everyone hates Yrel now, ever since the orcs who tried to murder Yrel and all her family, and us actually, told us she was a baddie as they were asking for a lift to our planet, and that might well be the case, but I don't think we're going to see her in the World Soul Saga at all. If she ever comes back, it's going to be much later, probably connected to the Arathi Empire and the Light, so I'd say her surviving the World Soul Saga is like 100% Anduin. Well, now this would be a heck of a curveball, wouldn't it? Of all of the possible deaths that Blizz could pull out of the hat, this would probably have the biggest impact. If Thrall has a case for being Warcraft's main character, I think Anduin has an equally good case for being World of Warcraft's main character. He's been there since day one. We've been with him every step of the way as he's grown up. Comics have promised us old man Anduin, and the future of the story definitely does seem laid out in a way that is designed to have him in it. The light-worshipping Arathi Empire over the sea that's definitely going to become a major antagonistic force after the World Soul Saga. Who among us is best placed to have interesting stories and conflicts in that distant land than our very own beautiful angel-faced crying boy, who's weirdly even more beautiful when he cries? Exactly. I and just about everyone
Exactly. What the fuck?
would be shocked to my very core to see Anduin sacrifice in the name of an impactful narrative, which you could argue is the exact reason it might happen. But I'm going to say that Anduin is safe and score him a gentle 1 Xdad out of Charlemagne. Okay, Evie wants to tell you something now, but stick around, fam, because we've got some big ones coming up.
Hey team, I don't know about you, but I've
No,
been
no,
feeling
I don't want
nostalgic
to.
lately.
The
We've
ads.
been doing
Sorry.
Sylvanas. I think of all
Dead of Sylvanas. No, you just making some bullshit, man. I mean, all the stuff what you was talking before and now, these characters is coming back They are coming back for this expansion, the new expansion. Everyone is waiting for Ashara, for Sylvanas, for more characters. New one probably is coming. Sargeras, Illidan, right? We are waiting for them to come back into the story, not be rid from the World of Warcraft. And you saying that they will be killed. I mean, dude.
All the potential main character deaths of the World Soul Saga, this is the most certain in my mind. And this might surprise you for a number of reasons, but allow me to explain
I'm surprised
why
also.
I
Why?
think the Banshee Queen is toast.
Okay.
Sylvanas is one of the most beloved and iconic characters in the whole of the Warcraft franchise, or at least she was. Caught in the wide swing of BFA's villain bat and then having the dubious honor of being the main anti-hero of the unloved Shadowlands expansion, feelings towards fantasy's sexiest undead elf have never
She's sexy.
ever been more mixed, with players split between wanting to see her given a story and character arc they feel she really deserves on one hand, and wanting to basically never have to hear from her ever again on the other. And the Midnight expansion gives Blizzard the chance to do both. Whatever you think of her actions in World of Warcraft, there is no denying that Sylvanas is the most tragic of Warcraft 3's cast, bravely giving her life in failing to protect her Silvermoon home from the invading forces of darkness, and then spitefully raised from the dead by Arthas and forcibly controlled against her will to commit the most heinous acts against her own people. This is a person who has objectively been through more than anyone could ever be expected to bear with their sanity intact. Years of murder, her own raising of undead, warmongering, forsaking the Forsaken, teaming up with the game's worst baddie, and finally becoming she who dominates others. Later, the last we saw of Sylvanas was as she wandered around the mall, rescuing the lost souls within it. This is her.
And I really upset that we don't have this Morn blade like transmog. This is fucking cool. Look at this blade. I just sometimes I'm thinking why Blizzard don't want to add some really cool transmogs even for money.
Was as bestowed on her by the judgment of one she had wronged the most in Tyrande. This is how the Night Elf Queen decided Sylvanas would pay her debt for the crimes she had committed. And the thing about sentences is they do eventually get served. We currently don't know much about the World Soul Saga's second installment, Midnight. Beyond that, one of its main story beats will be the ultimate void attack on the Sunwell, a prospect so juicy it makes Jessica Rabbit look like Supreme Leader Snoke, and a scenario crying out for some important character deaths. And I ask you, Internet, is there any character death that would be more fitting, more perfect, more poetic than Sylvanas? As the elves come together to defend the Sunwell, old grievances between the factions are put aside. Night Elf fight beside Blood Elf, and Nightborn and Void Elf, Alleria and Varisa take to the battlements to defend their home. And in their direst hour of need, when every available sword must be raised or else it's the end of everything, they have no choice but to turn to Sylvanas. She's found in the moor and convinced to return to defend her home, just like she did the first time we ever met her. And just like that first time, we see her sacrifice herself in battle in
the story is what he's saying is really cool. I mean, I want to see that, but to see how Sylvanas will die, you can imagine how much fans she has and how much people will just eat you alive if you will kill her.
service of her people and her city. Only this time she doesn't fail. This time she plays a pivotal part in the most important victory in Silvermoon and Azeroth's history. And not only that, this time, finally, she is allowed to die. The two events that shaped and defined Sylvanas' tragedy more than any other, her failing to protect her home and her raising into undeath, the denial of her right to die, are reversed. The wheel comes full circle. Different players and indeed characters in the game will have different opinions on what kind of atonement or redemption this earns her, if any at all, but there is no denying, in my opinion, that as character arcs go, this one would be fitting and satisfying. Plus, it'd probably be one of the best cinematics in the history of WoW, and you know I love a good cinematic. Blizzard will never have a better
Everyone
chance
loves.
to bring back Sylvanas for uber hype, but also kind of get rid of her in a much more satisfying way than being the Maw janitor. And I think Sylvanas' chances of being on the World Soul Saga hit list are a near certain 9 Thanoses out of Tyrande. Azeroth. Finally, I think it's fair to ask, is Azeroth herself?
What? Okay, let's listen what the bullshit he's trying to say.
On this hit list. Ever since Chronicle and Legion first confirmed that the planet we inhabit is in fact a nascent world soul, there have been some big questions. Whose side is she on? When will she be born?
What the fuck are you talking? What does it mean whose side she is? Of course on our side. She's trapped and we are her children. Of course she is all the time trying to help us to see the truth of the Titans and everything else. She's helping us all the time. What kind of bullshit are you saying that she is not on our side?
What will happen to us when she is? Questions which have not been answered, although we've got some very strong hints to work off. And now there's a new question. Will she survive the last Titan? I think most of us foresee a future right now where us, the hero...
If she will not survive last Titan, all existence of the reality will be gone. We included. So basically the game will be not existed anymore. Or we will exist in some other reality where Azeroth is alive, because Azeroth is the reality. She is the reality in this Warcraft lore. How you can even imagine that she will be dead? If she will die, all fucking reality will be dead. Everything will be dead. Without her, nothing will be existing anymore. If to believe in Lovecraft stories, what was what was taken for Warcraft lore nowadays.
Will actually need to defend Azeroth's world soul from not only the Void, not only Iridikron, who, don't forget, is a super important baddie out there getting his plans together right now, but the Titans as well. And Azeroth definitely seems to be putting a bit of an arm.
Let's to be clear, not just Titans. Everyone, every realm has their apostles. And every realm, like light, void, fel, order, disorder, death, void, they all have their apostles who want to claim the reality for themselves. Right? And to fight only with Titans, who is the apostles of the realm of order, is not, be honestly, clear. Not completely truth. We need to fight. If we want to protect Azeroth, we need to fight with all of them. With all of the apostles of all of the realms.
Army together in preparation for this. The dragon aspects, the Thragar, the Haranir, and the Awoken Earthen are just some of the forces that she can now call on, as well as us. So, she might even stand a fighting chance. I don't think she's the last Titan in the title of Part 3, because I, like most people, don't think she's a Titan. I think that title refers to Sargeras, but we can't talk about that now. There is so much we still need to learn.
Yeah, like he said, the last Titan should be Sargeras. I agree with him right now. So why are you talking about this bullshit, all of this shit?
World Soul. It's really quite the saga, really. But I think although the form she takes might not be recognizable by the end, she will, in some sense, survive. Because she has to, right? Right. A 1/1 out of Cosmos' chance of being on the block. Azeroth isn't just going to survive the saga, but be the catalyst for the rebirth of WoW after the saga. I don't know.
he thinks that Azeroth will be the key for making the Warcraft, World of Warcraft 2. I can see that, and World of Warcraft needs a new engine, a new beginning, let's be honest, but does Microsoft has the technology for that? They does, or they do. I'm sorry about my English, but yeah.
No, it sounds good though, doesn't it? But what do you think? Do you disagree with any of my ratings? Who do you think I've
I
left out of
disagree
the
a
list
lot.
that you think should be included? And I'm sure you want to tell me about how evil Taliesin is really, though, and I think you should in the comments below. And thanks for joining us today. If you like...
Okay. Uh, to think about who he didn't mention in his video, who can be the catalyst for death. I think it can be the friend of the how to call her name. I'm trying to remember the name of this girl. The Anduin friend, the black girl. If she will die on the hands of Anduin, I think this can be the biggest catalyst for Anduin to grow up, like really grow up and forget about his pain. He will sacrifice. She can sacrifice herself for him, and he will become a true son of light. That can happen. That can be really good. Who else? Let me think. Magni, no. Oh, actually, this is the only person. What can I think is this black girl? I don't remember her name, but anyway, she can be. She can be the only one. Okay, thank you, Taliesin, about your thoughts, but I think most of it is kind of garbage. Okay, not garbage, but to think that the Blizzard needs to kill the main character of the World of Warcraft and become and it will give some push for next expansions and next lore stories. No, I'm not. I agree with you, man. Sorry.